All set? Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Colonel George Bivens, Deputy Commissioner of Operations with the Pennsylvania State Police. Joining me today up front here are Dauphin County District Attorney Fran Chardo, Major Matthew Nickey, Area 2 Commander for PSP, Captain Mark Major, Troop H Commanding Officer, Captain Rob Brown, excuse me, Troop J Commanding Officer, and Lieutenant Adam Reed, Department PIO. We have a couple of incidents that occurred here in central Pennsylvania that are connected, and so let's start with, at about 4:15 this morning, a call was received of shots fired and people injured at 348 Sassafras Terrace, Mountjoy Borough, Lancaster County. Police responded and found that a total of 4 people had been shot, 1 deceased, 3 wounded. They quickly identified a suspect, Ricky Shannon, age 22, from Altoona, PA. They also identified a vehicle, a red Ford pickup truck, that they were looking for. Excuse me. Within minutes, Mountjoy Borough Police spotted the pickup truck and by 4:22 a.m. initiated a pursuit of that truck believed to be owned by suspect Shannon. Pennsylvania State Police Lancaster joined the pursuit in that vicinity, also assisted by Elizabethtown Borough PD. At that point, law enforcement knew the actor to be armed. The pursuit continued at a very high rate of speed into Dauphin County and lasted approximately 40 minutes. Ultimately, the actor was driving the wrong way on Route 322 in Dauphin County, was involved in several crashes with uninvolved vehicles. Fortunately, none of those resulting in serious injury to other operators. PSP had continued the pursuit along with Elizabethtown Borough. The pursuit was ultimately terminated by a pit maneuver at 4:55 in Reed Township, Dauphin County, on State Route 147 near the intersection with State Route 322. As soon as the pursuit was ended, the subject immediately opened fire from inside his vehicle. Several rounds hit the patrol cars that were in very close proximity and also hit very near to the troopers, again in proximity to that stop. At that point, there were numerous rounds exchanged through the driver's side of the subject's truck windshield. Troopers immediately approached the truck and removed Shannon from the vehicle in an effort to render aid. After summoning assistance, troopers then realized there was also another occupant in that truck. There was a 19-year-old female occupant who was removed at that time and aid was rendered. Both subjects had suffered gunshot wounds. Darkness, window tinting, and ultimately airbag deployment from the crash had prevented troopers from knowing there was another occupant in that vehicle prior to that time. It also appears the female occupant was over on the driver's side of the vehicle at the time that the shooting occurred. At this time, the PSP major case teams in both Lancaster and Dauphin counties are working with the district attorney's offices in each of those counties to process and fully investigate both crime scenes. In terms of just a little additional information, what I would tell you is that already our investigation has yielded the fact that there were 2 protection from abuse orders requested and filed in this matter. One on November 5th by Shannon, the suspect in all of this, against the female who was ultimately found in the vehicle with him. And then another on the 7th of November by that female against Shannon. The PFA that was filed against Shannon had been served at his residence in Blair County at approximately 1 a.m. this morning. Subject apparently left his residence sometime after that, driving to Lancaster County and engaging in this course of conduct that I've described for you. Additionally, what I would tell you is that he did possess a license to carry firearms and had legally purchased firearms in the past. Mr. Attorney, is there anything you'd like to add right now, or would we take some questions?
Well, I just will indicate that the investigation is going to take a while. We have dash cam and body cam footage that will require extensive review. And we are only at a preliminary stage, but in any case, we will conduct a comprehensive investigation before making a determination in such a case. But glad to take any questions you might have.
Is there indicate that police didn't know the woman was in the car as well? Obviously, you've got a suspect here who was dangerous in either case. How might have this been handled differently had the knowledge been there that the woman was in the car with the suspect?
Well, I'll turn it back over to the Colonel, but I will indicate that we've preliminarily reviewed the communications, and there was no indication of the presence of another person, and so that is something that would be considered. I'm not going to speculate on how it might be dealt with differently, but there was no knowledge and there was no indication that there was another person in the vehicle.
Can I quickly confirm, so is the female safe, or?
There were two dead at in the vehicle.
Sorry, the woman in the vehicle, is she?
She died of a gunshot wound.
Total 3, including the one deceased in
Lancaster.
In Lancaster, yes.
And if I could just ask the police, if you, I mean, again, you're dealing with somebody who you found to be dangerous in any event, but had you known, in terms of how you handled this, had you known there was a second person in the car, what might you have
Well, certainly that's a factor, and I'm not going to speculate how it might have changed this specific incident. What I would tell you is, obviously, we don't want harm to come to anyone else. I also would note that in this particular incident, the subject forced it. We had troopers in very close proximity. He opened fire, fired multiple rounds that struck the patrol cars and locations within inches of those troopers. And so he left them really no option but to return fire.
And then earlier you mentioned that there were protection orders filed against each other, the female and Shannon.
Yes.
How did that play into this incident?
That's simply a part of the ongoing investigation to determine what led up to this shooting and the pursuit and the second shooting. So, certainly we'll look at everything that we can in terms of the interaction between those two, past history, that kind of thing, just as part of a very comprehensive
And
look.
do we know who were the two deceased at the apartment? Like, were they friends, or what was?
There was one deceased at the
sorry.
apartment.
Yeah, so.
And those are family members. We have not released names because we have several family members involved in this, and there are still ongoing notifications at this point in time.
So the PFA order against Shannon was filed, earlier in that morning, you said, or earlier the previous day before everything
The previous
happened?
day, yes.
So, just to be clear, the woman who died at the scene in Reed Township, she was related to the family members in Lancaster County?
Yes.
What was she doing in the vehicle? I mean, at this point, do you know whether she was taken from that scene?
That's going to be part of the ongoing investigation. We have some information to suggest that she may have been shot at the initial scene by this subject as well. But there's additional witnesses to be interviewed. Some people did see them leaving. A lot of additional information to be done. Again, we wanted to get out with some preliminary information. Obviously, you all will understand that there's a lot to be gone through yet.
Leaving against her will, or with?
that's, as best we can, we'll determine that as part of the investigation.
Right, or maybe there's a call about an abduction. Did you receive?
We
a
did not
call?
receive a call about an abduction. The call was placed to law enforcement that there had been a shooting and that there were people injured at that location. And police gleaned after they got there who the suspect was, and really that's as far as the information that was provided to us was the suspect and the vehicle.
And what can you tell us about the deceased person down in Lancaster County?
That's a female, and again, another family member, but we're not prepared to disclose anything else about that.
Age or anything?
No.
Can you talk about the pursuit a little bit? I know that you mentioned one highway. Were there other roads? I mean, can you talk about just the route of this? Because it sounded to me, from what we've been told by some people who were on the road that saw it this morning, that it was, between Lancaster County and here, it was pretty, that they were driving on the wrong side of the road in a number of locations.
It was an intense pursuit. It was at high speed, 95, 100 miles per hour at times on the wrong side of the road. 322 was where there was the greatest example of that, but certainly a hazardous situation. Law enforcement was working to try to bring it to a close as quickly as possible.
And they were on 283 at some point?
Yes.
And were they in Harrisburg City?
I'm not aware that they were in Harrisburg City.
Can you spell Shannon's name?
We'll provide that to you after
There's
this.
it's gonna be a statement still after this.
Yes, we'll get you that information.
Will pictures of this suspect also be provided, or was he not? Is there not?
Yeah.
We're not in a position yet to release any photos.
And then, so at this point, you will not be able to be in the position to tell us what leads to what so far?
Well, what I would say is that as the investigation unfolds, we will provide updates to that. We wanted to explain to you what has happened so far and where we are in the investigation to this point, knowing that there's a lot of research and work that has to be done to really get a full understanding of what occurred.
Why, to your best of your knowledge at this point, why did he go down to that location this morning initially in Lancaster County? Was it to shoot these people, or was there a confrontation? I mean, it sounds like there's a lot going on there, but I'm just wondering what was the...
Well, I mean, I guess I would say that at least from the preliminary information, clearly there's some kind of a domestic disagreement between both. The shooting occurred almost immediately upon his arrival there. So it appears that there was likely some thought given, and the whole thing transpired very quickly once he arrived.
Are there any additional places that will be blocked off for a while, and how long that will be? Because I know right now.
Right now on 147, that will remain closed for some time. There's a lot of processing has to occur there to account for the various shots and to investigate everything on that scene. And it's important to do that before we open that back up. So we'll get that all done. And other than that, there really shouldn't be any other roads blocked or scenes cordoned off.
I don't mean to belabor the point how dangerous this was, but I mean, this guy was beyond even the initial confrontation. I mean, this was something that threatened the lives of a lot of people.
Yes.
And he had probably many, did he have multiple weapons? Seemed like he could, fire so many rounds back and
I am only aware at this point of one weapon with him at this point in time, but he did have the ability to reload and fire multiple rounds.
Any officers injured at the scene?
No. All right. Thank you very much.